And we are live. Podcast 35, IdeaWars. Rican and Socrates back in the hizzy.
What's good?
What's happening?
That numbers is going up.
We were talking about I've
My
told
fucking face.
I never really had acne because I did this right from the get-go. I heard this piece of advice when I was before I had ever gotten to adolescence. So when I did get to adolescence and I had acne, I got through it really fast because I did this thing. So what's going on is your body in physiology has this thing called homeostasis. And it basically means your body is always trying to maintain a balance. Your body never wants to gain weight. It never wants to lose weight. It never wants to change from what it is now. It's a protection mechanism. So your body produces a bunch of oil, right?
Mm-hmm.
Through your endocrine system, it sweats it out. And when it gets on your face, that oil builds up, makes it so that your skin can't breathe. And it clogs your pores so that you develop acne. That's what's happening right there. Now, a lot of people wash their face with soap and water, or they order shit offline or whatever, shit that's supposed to get rid of acne. And sometimes it does work, but for the most part, there's a way easier way to do it. It doesn't cost you anything. And that is just use hot water on your face. Don't use soap, because if you use soap, it'll strip away all the oil. And then your body with its homeostasis will go, I don't have any oil on my skin, produce oil. And then it produces oil, and then you get too much oil.
It's just a cycle.
And then, yeah, you're forcing your body into that cycle. So if you just use hot water, like when you're taking a shower, put your face in the hot water, hold it for a few seconds, and then just go like this. I mean, you don't need to use soap on your face. You're not fucking digging in the dirt with your face. You know what I mean?
Right.
And so.
What makes you say water, though? Like, what gave you that information, water?
I don't remember where I heard the information, but it's basically you don't want to strip away all the oil. You want to strip away some of the oil. If you strip away all of the oil, your body's going to go produce oil. If you strip away some of the oil, your body goes, okay, we're clean. That's that. Nothing else.
Gotcha.
It doesn't continue to. And something else that might help is going to a sauna. If you have access to a sauna through a gym or anything like that.
What is it? It sounds like what the hot steam, right?
Yeah.
A lot of people lose weight and shit off of that.
Yeah, but you don't want to lose that. Don't use it for losing weight. Use it for your endocrine system. It's proven fact that if you use a sauna something like once a week, you'll live 20 years longer.
What?
It cleans up your endocrine system. Yeah, it helps your kidneys and your liver. Cleans
Really?
Yeah. Cleans
I
up.
always wanted to try it, though.
Really good for you. But so if you go into a sauna, for 5-10 minutes, one time a week or twice a week or something like that, it's supposed to be really good for you. Yeah. You can buy personal saunas. They cost a couple grand. I actually thought about getting one. I'd rather have a sauna than a swimming pool.
Right. What do you mean personal? Like they'll make a little room for you in your house or something?
Yeah, or outside. You can put them anywhere. They're personal saunas. They're 1 or 2 seats, really small, but just big enough for 2 people to get in there. And it's personal steam room. Dude, can you imagine that in the middle of winter, going in that fucking steam room? It feels so fucking good. Burning that heat.
I mean,
sweating up a storm. Dude, I like that.
I went to Kalahari for the first time ever, and I've never been in a hot tub ever. And I went in Kalahari, they had this bar, and I'm not old enough to go in the bar, but they weren't checking at all. So I just said, fuck it, I look old, fuck it. So they had an outside, and it was snowing and shit. But the hot tub went outside, open and everything, and that even felt good. It was freezing cold outside, but it had a hot tub. So I kind of made that analogy that
the wintertime hot tub feels good.
Right.
And a hot tub can clean out your pores and shit too. But I find my parents had one. I find that kind of disgusting. Hot tub.
Yeah, I didn't like it, dog.
There's super chemicals. It's so chlorine that it's not doing the same thing, right?
Right.
You're adding a bunch of fucking chemicals. You don't want to bleach your fucking face.
True.
And not only that, but you're making grease soup. Because everyone's sweating in there, whether they think so or not. You sweat in the shower too, but
Right.
you don't notice it because it's going down the drain. But you're sweating in that hot tub, and I'm not big.
There's tons of people there too. I didn't like it. It felt weird. The water did. I don't know if that makes sense. Because it was cold outside, right? So you really didn't want your upper body up, because then you get freezing cold. So I was maybe the water was hitting me right here, touching my lip and shit, and bacteria was just hitting my lip, just up and down.
skimming the water with your mouth. That's disgusting.
Yeah. So I was like, we gotta go.
The reason they put in all that chemicals to kill all the bacteria and shit that people put in there,
Right, because there'd be some nasty ass motherfuckers in this world.
I mean, it's really lovely. Like when it's really cold out. My parents had theirs outside. It was a real big one, like 8 or 10 seats, and like outside in the middle of the winter is the only time that I got any kind of enjoyment out of it. Because like the snow falling on your head while you're like super warm in this hot tub with jets on your spine feels amazing,
And it looks wonderful too.
Yeah, but it's gross to me.
Yeah, and then you were also telling me not to pop my pimples.
Yeah,
that was crazy. I never heard of that really.
There's
honestly.
no difference between popping your pimples and picking a scab. There's no difference. It's gonna scar your skin.
Oh.
Let me see if I can find this actor for you. They did a.
Did I ever tell you about how I got my scratch scars on my face? Did you ever notice them? Because they're faint like now, like when I'm older. But when I was younger, I mean, they were very possible. I don't know if my dad ever told you that. I was arguing with one of these girls in church and shit. Let me try to remember perfectly. I think I was like laying down or something, and I think I kicked her. I kicked her back seat. I think I kind of deserved it, but not all this. Not what she did to me. All right, so I kicked her seat or something like that, if I remember it correctly, and she got like crazy mad. And I think I kicked it again, just to try, because I was an annoying kid back then, and I was hard headed.
What?
I kicked her seat. So we're in a car. I'm sorry. We're in a car. I'm in the back seat. She's in the front seat, right? I kick her back seat, and I think it was an accident or on purpose. I don't know. But I think I did it again, and that time, the second time, I had to be on purpose, right? So she comes from the front seat, jumps on me, and then starts fucking clawing at my face. Clawing, dog.
Who did?
I don't want to say her name, but the girl that from church. This girl, she was older than me. She was probably like 13 at the time. I was maybe 8 or something. Clawing at my face. You ask my dad how crazy it was when he picked me up. I mean, there was blood all over it, bro. I had a scar for years, all over my face.
I missed. Who did this?
No, I didn't say the name, but it was a girl from church. It was a girl from church. Yeah.
God, what a fucking cunt.
Dog, but she jumped on me, and she was heavy too. She was super heavy. She was big, and she started clawing at my face like endless. And I don't know, this camera won't see it, but the next time I come over, I'll show you. I still have a little bit of scars. Like you'll see lines. And it's just, I don't know if I ever told you that before.
Oh,
that shit was crazy. Everybody look at this rhino pimple right here. Look at that rhino pimple. Look at that.
It is what it is, man.
It is what it is. Motherfucker just popped up. You
This
said it was an actor?
Yeah, there was an old skit on like In Living Color or Mad TV, and they were making fun of this one Mexican actor. I can't remember his name, but his face is all like chewed up. He either had chicken pox or he like messed with his acne in his adolescence too much. But it really, you'll see people that like I had a buddy, a few years ago. He had a really chewed up face too. It just, yeah, I don't recommend it. I mean, because it's your skin, right? If you pick a scab, it'll make a scar, but it'll go away over time. But you don't want to do that on your face, right? Like if you got a scar on your arm or whatever, your knee or your elbow or wherever.
Yeah, that's whatever.
Yeah, it's one thing to pick that scab, but when it's on your face, that dog, I don't recommend it because everyone got to stare at that,
Oh yeah, I hate pimples, man. Like look at this India one. Look, I got an India and shit.
India one.
Yeah,
oh my god.
But yeah, I hate that shit.
What a lovely dot.
I got a lovely dot on my head. Fuck it.
Yeah, man. I mean, it is what it is. Like I don't even barely notice. Because it's not like I'm sitting there, writing down your flaws or anything.
Right. I just love making fun of it. So when someone else does, I'm with the same joke with you.
Yeah.
Fuck it.
I was lucky to never have acne that bad, but I was lucky to get, I think, some good advice before. And
dog, you should have seen me in football season, bro. it was disgusting. Like it was bad. I think it was because my helmet and like right over here and this side, like you still see a little bit, but it's gone now. It's like trying to go away. I still have a little bit of scars, but it looked infected.
Yeah, and you
It's
can
disgusting shit.
it's already scarring you. And
Yeah.
over time that will fade, but if you keep messing with it, shit ain't gonna fade, man. There will be permanent
Shit.
Yeah, yeah.
Damn. I'm glad you told me. I always thought that was a myth.
Yeah, better to stop now than continue because it would only get worse.
It's kind of hard now. It kind of made it like into a game. Got to pop these pimples,
Yeah,
you know?
and it feels like it bugs you to feel them on there, and they hurt. Those motherfuckers
Right.
hurt sometimes.
Hell yeah.
You want to pop them and get rid of them. I mean, it feels kind of good to pop them motherfuckers sometimes. And it's
Hell
mostly
yeah.
when it's on your back. Like, who gives a fuck if you got a scarf on your back, you know?
Right. Or anywhere else, yeah.
But it's different when it's on your face.
Fucking face, yeah. You
I
got
got
a fucking
like
boil right here or something.
I've always hated that my cheeks are rosy as fuck. You know, I got like I think it's called rosacea, where your cheeks are just always red.
Red.
You know, I'm a white Negro. I'm Scottish, so we're known for being light as fuck and going like, goddamn Garfield and Friends looking beard.
Have you ever thought about going to Scotland just to see?
Not really.
Nah, never crossed your mind.
And if I wasn't a white Negro and I was black, I wouldn't want to really go to Africa either. Unless I go to the really nice part of it, you know.
Right.
My family, before they came up north, we lived in, we're Scottish. We lived in Little Rock, Arkansas. It's 42% black there. So and then we moved up north, and it's like pretty much the same where I grew up. It just goes to show that my family was connected to the whole, black culture as far back as you want. Like, my family was probably freed slaves. Scottish people were slaves as well at the same time as the Emancipation Proclamation freed all the other black slaves, So it's just an odd observation how it, I could trace it right back to the south.
Is there one place that you would actually want to go? Like, is there one dream place that you want to go? Maybe outside of this country, or in this world, yeah.
Like, I want to go to space. Like, that's my big. That's
no, I'm talking about like vacation.
Like, yeah, there are places that I would love to go to Amsterdam.
Amsterdam, okay. Where's
that?
Yeah,
man. Like, it's in Holland. Wait, Amsterdam, Germany. Where the fuck is Amsterdam? Anyway, like almost all drugs are legal there. Prostitution is legal there.
It's just free over there.
It's not free.
No, I'm not free. I'm saying like you're free. You're free to do whatever you want.
Yeah. Basically, like certain things like ecstasy and those types of drugs aren't legal, but they're not really enforced, and so anyone can pretty much
do whatever the fuck they want.
Yeah.
When it comes to that.
Yep.
Shit, I always want to go to like Florida or something. I'm stuck in the States. I don't want to leave the country, honestly.
Yeah, there's lots of places I'd love to go that aren't in the States. One thing that I really love is like the mountains, different kind of mountain ranges. I went to Colorado mountains earlier this last year. It was amazing. I love to look out in the stars, and when you get way up in the mountains and there's no light pollution, or you can see space real good, it's just epically beautiful, man.
But you love hiking also, dude.
I really loved hiking and camping and shit like that too. Even though I look like straight out the streets, I got two sides of a coin over here. One side really loves the wild, and one side really loves the streets. But I would also really like to go to a ton of these like Latin American countries where there's all these pyramids, and in Southeast Asia, there are pyramids in every country in the world, basically. There are over 3,000 known pyramids, and we're discovering more all the time. And those like ancient megalithic sites and shit, those really interest me. I would really love to see, but Egypt is like pretty bad. I wouldn't really want to go there. Like, ISIS is in control of a bunch of it. But there are bigger pyramids than in Egypt. In South America, there's a shit ton. In Central America, there's a shit ton of pyramids.
Are there not Egypts? Are there pyramids that we can go inside? Like, is there like tombs? Is there tombs like that we can go, like guests can go inside or something like that?
None of the pyramids are tombs. That's a common misconception. They've never found Well, I guess they have found a few, but then when they dated them, they were put in there after the pyramid had clearly been there for thousands or tens of thousands of years. None of the pyramids are tombs. Yeah, it's really weird. Like we're still trying to kind of figure out. There are many like hypotheses on what they were. A lot of people think they made energy. It was a different form of energy production. Instead of electricity, they had it might have been a different type of electrical production, but a lot of people think that they were used for, there's so many hypotheses, but there's a lot of ideas out there on what pyramids were, but none of them were tombs.
Oh, okay. I always got confused with that.
Makes it even more mysterious. It's like if it was a tomb, you could almost understand, like super rich person has 100,000 slaves and that's just tomb. That makes sense. But when it's not a tomb, then you're kind of like, why in the fuck? Because like the Great Pyramid in Egypt, and there are bigger ones than that. And that one had something like 3 million blocks or something, and all of them weighed like it would take something like 100 years or something if you placed like just even a ton of those blocks every day. And I forget the calculation, and I don't want to start.
I remember like a documentary that said like 200 million trucks would have to equal the amount of one or half a block up that thing, and it will take forever or something like that. That's how heavy that shit was. What do they use it for?
And many of those stones we couldn't lift even with our modern equipment, so we don't know what the fuck. What's what used for?
The pyramids.
Yeah, that's what we don't know.
Oh, we still okay.
Yeah, like there's lots of hypotheses. Like energy production, it seems like might be what they used. Like when they first discovered a lot of the pyramids, they had a whole bunch they were covered in this like quartz, and quartz is a known, it resonates at a certain frequency. It's in almost every watch. It says quartz crystal on your watch. Mm-hmm. I'm sure everyone's heard of that. That's because quartz is one of the only materials that we know of that resonates at a certain frequency all the time. It has a predictable resonance, and then we use that resonance to keep time. And so, like these pyramids were completely covered in this quartz. And there was all these things around it, these devices and shit. Yeah, if you ever look up some of the pyramid shit, maybe I'll show it on a different thing. They had like clearly machinery type things in them, and like we don't know what the fuck it was. I mean, how in the hell are we supposed to know? It's so long ago, 5,000 plus years.
It's fucking crazy.
Changed a lot. A lot of the pyramids, when you see the steps, those steps weren't there. It was covered in quartz. It was perfectly smooth, and they took all that off to use as building materials to build other shit. They basically robbed the materials off the pyramid instead of cutting their own at a quarry.
Really?
Yeah. It's a very common thing. That's one of the things that really interests me is megalithic sites all around the world. It's fascinating to me, and I like to try to.
Especially pyramids. I love the thought of pyramids. I mean, it just seems impossible to fucking do. And people back then, you would never think that. How the fuck did they do that?
Yeah, because we're taught procession, basically, which is like everyone, like the one dude figured out, like, holy shit, look, Benjamin Franklin put a key on a kite, electricity. And 100 years later, somebody from that discovery goes like, oh, we can do this with this. And then, it just keeps going until Nikola Tesla's born. I just did a video on that earlier today. And, without those earlier discoveries through procession, we wouldn't have had what we have now. We have the internet and wireless data and all sorts of shit, So it's like everything is built on the shoulders. We're taught that the farther you go back, the more people get low technology and caveman style. But the weird thing is that when we look into these megalithic sites, we actually can't cut stone in the way that they did. A lot of them, they were melting the stone. And also, there were nuclear wars in the past. I mean, it's basically a fact. Because when they detonate nuclear bombs, it makes what's called nuclear glass. It melts the sand near the epicenter of where the bomb goes off. It melts the sand into what's called nuclear glass, and they're finding this nuclear glass all around the world. And yeah, and there are proven uranium mines that go back over 5,000 years. Like, what in the fuck were they doing with uranium back in the day?
Right.
Dude, that's what we use for modern fission nuclear energy production. So the past is just full of mysteries, but we're taught that as they go back that they have lower and lower technology. But
that's not true.
It's weird when we find out that we can't do many of the things that they did. So, you know, it kind of that
Contradicts itself in a way.
that linear procession kind of seems like bullshit a lot of the time, right?
Right. We need to hit up Stewie and get a time machine and shit and go back over there.
Oh my God, dude. Time travel would be the best. I would love to peep out. I mean, think about the things you could put to rest right away. Check out the pyramids. Go and visit Jesus. Like, was he real? Was he just some dude with a fucking pulling a rabbit out of a goddamn hat? You know what I mean? Like, I don't even like, it used to be hardcore Christian, but I don't even believe in that anymore. But I would still want to check it out. You know, I mean,
right. At least get the truth.
Get some recording of Jesus, you know, on your modern camera, or Muhammad or whoever. You know, it'd be fucking interesting, and then you could put some shit to rest. You could go back and see what they were doing. You know, see how they cut those fucking stones, see how they built the pyramids, see what they used it for. I mean, it would be amazing. And then, you know, think about all the things like we were talking about, how there were like cat people and minotaurs and shit depicted all over the world.
UFO war.
Yeah, I mean, you could go right there and pick that shit out. Put, you know, like record it and be like, "What now, motherfuckers?" You know, like it would change the way we fucking think. The truth is that it seems to be pretty obvious. This dude named Graham Hancock keeps he's been on Joe Rogan Experience quite a few times, and he talks about these periods called Dryas periods, where like mankind gets wiped out and we basically got to start over. And this has seemed to have been happening in a cycle over and over. This is supposedly what the Mayans were talking about, you know.
In that 10,000 years?
Yeah, like 10,000 year cycles, when some kind of catastrophe comes and fucks everyone up, and we start from scratch over again, you know.
Have you ever seen that famous picture? I've seen it on Twitter a lot. It usually says like a time traveler dude caught in a picture. Like it was like back in the day, and for some reason this dude had weird glasses. And let me see if do you know what I'm talking about? And he had like a shirt that was
talking about. It's debunked.
It's debunked? That's fake?
It's debunked. Well, it's not fake. It's real.
Oh, it's real.
It's a real picture, but it's debunked. I seen the actual shirt. It was a sports shirt from like 1920 or something like that. But since he's wearing like a jacket over it, and then he's wearing those weird glasses, but those were proven, like there were people who looked up the shirt, they looked up the glasses. Nothing he has is out of place, out of time. It just looks weird because of our perceptions of what they should look like in the 20s, you know, or 20s, 30s, whatever, when everyone was wearing business suits and shit. And then there's this guy, and he's wearing sunglasses and a fucking sports jersey. So it really looks out of time. I know exactly what you're talking about. He's looking to the left, and he's, you know, yeah, I know exactly. I could find it in a second if you want me to, and show it.
No, oh yeah, go ahead if you want to.
But
when you said Jiraiya fucking died. Oh shit.
So you finally made it to the Rain Village, huh?
Yes. Yeah. Oh my God, I was so upset. I didn't feel like he should have died, man. And his sage mode was dope.
His hair goes up.
Yeah, dog. That shit was. He had a good fight.
Oh, but when he died, dude, I cried so fucking hard.
It's like I didn't know what to do. It was like,
oh my God, man.
I stopped watching it for like a couple hours. I couldn't watch the next one because the next one they went to like a little filler. They went to that dude with the bubbles. Yeah, that's the picture right there. But the dude with the bubbles that can put bubbles out of his thing or whatever.
Yeah, he's got a badass jitsu. He's in the game.
Yeah. I've seen him. And I was just like, fuck this filler, dog. What the fuck? You know, I was just so pissed off because Jiraiya died.
I know. And
why the fuck didn't he escape, man? He should have fucking escaped because he could have taught fucking Naruto so much more.
He could have escaped. And, you know, he didn't have to challenge Pain all by himself. And then he dropped into that like ocean that surrounds the Rain Village, and his body will never be recovered even, you know?
Right.
Which is good because then like Orochimaru and them can't, or what's the dude's name with the glasses? Orochimaru. Kabuto. Yeah.
Kabuto. There you go.
Kabuto can't get his DNA and use the resurrection jutsu on him, so that's a good thing. But at the same time, he don't get a grave or anything, you know, to be
right, and that's sad.
I love Jiraiya too. I mean, Jiraiya represents regular people. You know, they call him pervy sage. Regular people have their quirks, right? Like we're not perfect, you know. Like, I mean, who doesn't jacket? Who doesn't who doesn't want to, look at chicks sometimes naked or whatever. So it's like, I mean, they call him Pervy Sage, but he really represents like regular people, because he's not, he has a very human element to him. It's very easy to relate to Jiraiya, in my opinion,
Right. Do you think they should have let him escape? Or do you think it was kind of the right thing to do to let him die right there, have him? Because in a way, he did die a good death. In a way, that was a dope fucking battle. He died to his last fucking breath.
Yeah.
I still don't know what messed
fighting. What warrior could ask for more? He had a true warrior's death, and I can't knock on that. And also, you got to have characters that die sometimes. Like if all the characters come back all the time, then it's not. You're about to get to when Pain attacked the Leaf Village, and that to me, that's my favorite battle in all of Naruto. That is so epic, dog.
For real? I just found out that what's Sasuke's brother's name again? Itachi was actually a good guy.
Yep.
Wow, that fucking blew my mind, dog. I was like, oh shit.
He was keeping a secret, and he took all the blame when it really wasn't him. And I don't want to give away who it actually is. Spoiler alert, but
right.
That
shit was fucking crazy. It all made sense though, and I was surprised that Buddy told him about it. Actually, what's his name? Man, their names are so fucking hard. So fucking hard to remember.
Whose name?
The third guy that has the eye, Madara. I was surprised he told him the truth when really he could have just said something else to make Sasuke go on his side.
Yeah.
When he tells him the whole truth about his brother and everything, and how his brother actually loved him and this and that.
Yeah, but I don't want to spoil shit, so I don't know what.
Right. And Killer Bee's funny as fuck, dog. That nigga's rhyming and shit. Cool.
He can't rhyme, but he's fucking cool, man. And he has complete like friendship with his
beast.
Tail beast, yeah. So he's the shit, man. I love Killer Bee, and I love his older brother. I don't think they're actual brothers, but I think he's called the Raikage or whatever.
It says when I was watching it, it said his older brother.
Yeah,
even the other people that were in that clan said, I wonder what's going to happen when his older brother finds out he's just got tooken. He's going to be pissed or whatever.
Yeah, and his older brother is the fastest shinobi in the world.
Really?
Yeah, until Naruto, but I think I've mentioned it before. Naruto learns how to teleport without the kunai that his dad had, Minato's kunai.
Right.
Then Naruto is the fastest shinobi in the world. But yeah, until that point, there's an episode where it switches over from his brother's the fastest shinobi to where Naruto is. He goes, oh my God, he even got past me, and it was pretty epic. But let me show you this real quick, how this is debunked, okay?
All right.
Okay, so there's this viral picture that has been shared on YouTube, blogs, even on TV for the past 5 years or so.
Look at this creepy old dude.
With a real time traveling hipster right in this picture. So for the older folks out there, if you don't know what a hipster is basically a new age version of a hippie that takes showers and drinks way too much coffee. All right, let's take a look at this. As you can see by the borders, this is a real photograph. This picture is genuine and not modified in any way. But the things that have been said about this picture is a hoax in itself. The general claims are that this guy is a time-traveling hipster that was accidentally photographed while he was visiting a grand reopening of some bridge in Canada. His hair is not of his time period, completely impossible because hair salons were not capable of producing this style with just a brush and comb. His sunglasses have been purchased in the future because they were incapable of making sunglasses that look like that back in the 1940s. His sweat jacket and t-shirt must have been purchased at his local Walmart before he jumped into his time machine because ink presses did not exist in the 1940s. The object he's holding looks so small, so therefore it has to be a digital camera he brought with him from the future. Time traveler claims, oh, humanity. Let's debunk these claims in reverse real quick. They did make handheld cameras in the 1940s, and it looked like this. They did not produce high-resolution images, and that is why it is hard to tell what he is holding. But most likely, it is a large camera being held by both hands. And it looks like he is staring at a camera this guy is holding. Probably think to himself, after the show, I'm going to get my billy club, smack this guy on the head, and then out. Cameras, oh yeah. The sweatshirt looks like it was sewed on a wool liner, popular in the 1940s, especially in Canada since it's always cold. And his t-shirt is not impressed because machines like that did not exist in the 1940s, but is most likely a sewed-on patch that the Canadian hockey teams were wearing at the time. And since we now know he is a hockey player, it explains why he has such a weird haircut from wearing those useless hockey helmets that did exist in the 1940s. Researching the sunglasses is a little bit harder to find with only a couple of advertisements for this style because this design was bought and sold in regions that had significant snowfall. People don't want to get snow blinded, and especially hockey players when they are staring at a sheet of white ice during practice.
Really? Wow.
This time traveling hipster is not a time traveler.
So there you go. Pretty simple.
Damn,
Yeah,
I always used to go back to that picture and just be like, damn, what if that's true?
Yeah, sometimes things are really odd. Have you ever seen that one lady from the old silent film, and it looks like she's talking on a goddamn cell phone?
No, I've never seen that. Silent film?
Time travel one. Yeah, that one. Like, I don't know if anyone's debunked that one. Yeah, see, I like to watch both sides of things, you know, like because I'm big into mysteries and shit like that, but I also, you know, I like to find out if it's
real or not.
true or not. Traveler.
Shit, that would be so cool if we had a time travel, though. They probably wouldn't give that to the people, though. Probably keep that shit for themselves, the government.
Okay, here it goes. There's actually two of them where it looks like a person is talking on a cell phone. There's this younger lady one. There's this older lady one. Watch. This is the one I was going to show you, though.
Not showing yet, brother.
And she comes walking by. This is like an old, like Charlie Chaplin film, and she's walking by herself.
You're not showing it yet, brother.
Oh, sorry. Thank you.
You're all good.
All right. This is an old silent film, like Charlie Chaplin film, I think. And here she is walking by herself, and it looks like she's talking on a fucking cell phone. And I don't know if anyone's ever debunked this. Like, I would love to know what the fuck she's doing, man. But it's so weird, and she's clearly talking. Like, they've zoomed in on her mouth, and you can see her mouth is moving. So either this is a crazy lady talking to her fucking palm, or, you know, it's really odd. This is odder, if you ask me, than that last guy by far. You know, like, what the hell? But, you know, I just did that video on Nikola Tesla, and he actually, you know, there were mobile phones back way farther than most people think. So, you know, and here is another piece of footage where a lady looks like she's talking on a cell phone in 1938 here.
Well, you said there were cell phones back then?
I don't know if right at that time there were, but I'm just saying that they go back farther than people think. I mean, Nikola Tesla died in 1943, and he stopped making patents 20 years before he died, which would be 1923. And he already had basic, you know, patents for wireless phones and all that. So, you know, we don't really know of them now, but you know, they could have had all sorts of weird devices. I don't know. But look at that. This one is like way weirder, I think. Like, what the fuck is she doing? If she ain't talking on a phone, what the fuck is she doing?
Right. That's weird. It's like, all right, bye.
So strange.
That's random that they get a video like that. What if this bitch was faking? Maybe it's a little purse.
Yeah, what's up with this bitch's hairstyle? Look at that shit. Look at this fucking, look like a big old Russian lady. She carrying a fucking tree on her shoulder and shit. I was kidding. It's my leg. So it's just some weird shit, man. I don't know. It's fucking.
I don't know. That's a cool thought to think about, though. Time travel.
Yeah, and who knows?
That'll make your mind go crazy.
Have you ever heard of the simulation theory? I think it's called.
No, I've never heard of that.
And it goes something like this. Right now, we have the ability to make artificial universes, basically, right? Like Fallout, you know,
Grand Theft Auto.
Yeah, Grand Theft Auto. There's all sorts of games with open like universes, and so we already have the ability to do that. And it's only going to get better and better and more lifelike. And so in the future, we already have multiple of those now, and in the future, there's only going to be more of them. And so there's this simulation theory where they say there are so many fake realities made that we are more likely to be a computer program in a fake reality than we are to be real, because there's so many more fake ones than real ones.
Really?
There's only one real universe in reality, but there's all sorts of, even in today's time, there's all sorts of fictional realities.
Wait, I think you told me this. You think that maybe there's a way that we are the program, and then someone's actually waking up when we go to sleep?
That's another theory, yeah.
Oh, okay. That's not the same one.
Yeah, because, we go to sleep and we time travel every night because we go unconscious. Just like before you were born. I mean, the planet went 4.5 billion years before you were born, and that time didn't take anything to you. And every day when you go to sleep, you wake up, it's been 8 hours or whatever, and yet that took no time to you, no time.
Right.
So it is very, very odd,
That's very possible, yeah. That's a scary thought.
Yeah, and it's just something to contemplate. I believe that the multiple reality thing where we're I think that's called like existentialism or something like that. I can't think of the word right now. I apologize. I don't know what it's called, but yeah.
Oh, shit. What you have to tell me about Puerto Ricans, bro?
Yeah, I got some Puerto Rican news.
Oh, shit.
Maybe we should have a segment that's just Puerto Rican news, This week in Puerto Rican news. Yeah, man. Something cool, man. It's really
Goya prices go up.
Goya prices, yeah.
That would be on Puerto Rican news.
Oh, that's good. Okay.
Trump makes Goya prices go up, says that we are now rapists and we're going to build a wall around Puerto Rico and the island.
No, that's Mexico.
Oh, yeah. Sorry. Wrong news.
So there are these two large telescopes in Puerto Rico. One is called SETI, the Search for Extraterrestrial Life, or Extraterrestrial Intelligence.
Damn it. That's specifically for that?
Yeah. It's called SETI, Search for Extraterrestrial Intelligence. It's been around since like 98, I think. And then there's another one called what is it called? I can't remember right now. I just had the fucking name. He might mention it here.
Last night's video. All right, the Earth is getting hit, but that's a different kind of wave. These waves that were detected by researchers from McGill University in Montreal are a little bit different. They were using the Green Bank Telescope in West Virginia, as well as the Arecibo Observatory in...
That's it, Arecibo Observatory. It looks at stars and picks up signals from space.
So one picks up stars and the other one tries to find alien terrestrials?
No, they both do basically the same thing. They look out into space and they try to pick up signals from space.
Gotcha, okay.
So
Montreal are a little bit different. They were using the Green Bank Telescope in West Virginia, as well as the Arecibo Observatory in Puerto Rico. And in a recent paper that was published in the Astrophysical Journal, these researchers, led by Paul Scholes, wrote that, quote, "We have detected 6 additional radio bursts from this source. They detected 5 of them with the Green Bank Telescope at 2 gigahertz and 1 at 1.4 gigahertz with the Arecibo Observatory, for a total of 17 bursts from this source in space. The detection follows 11 previously recorded outbursts from the same location, which is called FRB 121102.
Okay, and I'm not going to play the whole thing, but that's actually unprecedented, dude. Like before that, they'd only ever like really picked up one signal, and it was called the WOW signal. This was like a couple decades ago. But then they picked up like, what do they say, 14 from the same from the same space, the same point in space.
So they went
And
from
so-
1 to 14 in
Yeah.
one night? Damn.
And that one, they couldn't repeat it. You know, for it to be what's called falsifiable in science, they need to record it and then put the telescope away and then put it back and see if they can pick it up again to make sure it's a legit signal. And they couldn't do it with the WOW signal. But with this signal, they did it. And they picked up like however many he said there, 12 or 14. And they think, you know, because sometimes they'll get a burst from like gamma rays or like a planet, a star exploding or some shit like that.
Right.
But this is different. And a lot of people think it might be an alien signal. And if it is, it could have taken millions of years for it to get here. And so when we look out into space, we're actually looking back in time, because the light from different galaxies and whatnot has taken millions of years to get here. The light from the sun takes 8 minutes to get here. 8 minutes. You know, it's 8 minutes old. And the farther you go out in space, the longer it takes that light to reach us. And so we're literally seeing like photographs from millions of years ago. What we see in space might be like, if we could fly there instantaneously or teleport there like we were Thanos from Marvel, we would probably it might look completely different. You know, like a whole bunch of stars might have exploded and the whole galaxy
Really?
we're looking at could look different. Yeah, when we look out into the night sky, we're looking back in time, because we're looking at the light from millions of years ago reaching us, and our eyes, you know, decode that light into pictures that we understand as vision, right? So
Right.
we're actually looking back in time.
That's fascinating.
It is fascinating, and it's very interesting. So, you know, that civilization, if it actually is another civilization that sent us radio signals, they could very well not even be there now. That planet could have been blown up, or they could be way more advanced now. You know?
Yeah, no telling. Are they going to decode it or try to decode it or see if there's messages in it? Or you don't know? Or
Yeah,
I'm asking you like you're best friends with these motherfuckers.
right. Well, I do know a little bit about it. I heard that they were trying to decode it, but you know, it's very hard when you don't know the language to begin with. You know, it's like how do you decode? Like, have you seen? There's a new movie that's sort of based on that. What the fuck was it called? I just watched it earlier this last week. It was still in the theaters, but I watched it on that internet site where you get it for free. What the?
Those motherfuckers better download Rosetta Stone. Find out what language they speaking.
Let me see if I can find the name of this movie. You should check it out. And there's like these big like squid aliens and shit. It was weird, man.
Really?
It was fucking cool though. It's the chick from Superman. It had the dude that played Hawkeye in it, and the chick that played Lois Lane was.
I'm really bad at actors, especially names. I suck at names. I barely know the people I work with.
Yeah, I suck at names too. Let me see. What the fuck was that shit called?
I've been really getting into those heckler videos. That shit's funny.
Heckler videos?
Yeah, like comedians
where they
making
heckle
fun of.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's great.
because they have to come up with that shit just right up, like right there, right then and there. You know, that's not something that they thought about.
Right. Yeah, true. Give me a second here. All right. I want to see that new Underworld. That's gonna be the shit, man.
Underworld? I never seen any of them.
Oh my god, so dope, dude. I also want to see that new Ghost in the Shell movie. It looks nasty.
I still want to see Doctor Strange. I know you gave it good ratings.
Ooh, a new Aliens movie's coming out. Oh, I fucking love that new Doctor Strange. New Transformer movie coming out. That'd be dope.
Transformers kind of died out to me.
Yeah.
I like Wick Wickety.
You like what?
Wick Wickety. That was my dude.
Wickety?
Yeah, Shia LaBeouf. When they took him out, I didn't like it. Like when they took him out of Transformers, the sequel.
Yeah. It was.
Because I liked them as a character. Like they had a good bond with Bumblebee and shit.
True, but I love Mark Wahlberg though.
Yeah, he's a great actor. He's a great actor. I'm not gonna fucking put him down.
I have no idea what the name of the movie is. My girl knows, but she's sleeping, so I don't fucking know.
Fuck it.
Yeah, fuck it. But anyway, there's a new movie out, and it's either in the theater right now or it's just leaving the theaters, and it's about like these aliens that come down and they're just making contact with us and shit, and they look like fucking squids and shit. It's pretty crazy.
I hope aliens don't look like that. I hope at least they look a little bit similar to us. That would be good. Because if that's a fucking aliens with some squid arms or something like that, or some like that. Have I ever showed you that picture of what it would look like if our body? Scientists made a picture of what we would have to transform to if we can handle a car crash. Have you ever seen that?
Yeah, I actually have. And the
like if aliens look like that and shit, and you saw like the titties and stuff like that, yeah, that would be fucking weird. I have to be friends with that. Oh shit.
To be honest, I'd settle for any sentient, intelligent life in my lifetime that we made contact with. Like, I'm not gonna
Be picky.
like, I'll be happy with squid people or whatever, like I'm just happy that we made contact and we know definitively that there are other sentient races out there in this universe, and maybe that would unite the human race. But the Pope has already said, just earlier this year or late last year, the Pope said that a lot of people think they're about to completely disclose aliens across the world, and I mean it's happening in almost every country already. We've already talked about that, but the Pope said he would baptize aliens if they came to the Vatican. And I was thinking like Muslims would probably bomb these fucking aliens because they don't believe in Muhammad and all this, and it's like, but I feel like nothing would unite the human race more than to find out that we're not alone and that,
it would be weird if we still have religion if we meet aliens.
It would be.
That would be very weird because they would just be like, really now?
Yeah, because did Jesus go around and appear to all the aliens and die for their sins too?
Right. Did Jesus have a tentacle coming out of his fucking asshole?
Yeah. So it's like it would quickly make religion seem like a big pile of bullshit, wouldn't it?
Yeah, hell yeah.
Yeah, because like what, do they got a squid god? Or what if they're like space Islam and like, if we don't worship their squid Muhammad, they're gonna
we all die.
Have way worse than nukes to us, just crack the planet in half or something,
Hell yeah. It would be cool to have alliances with someone outside of our planet. Then we can know more. It would just be cool for anything, honestly. They'll come here and show us more technology and stuff like that. Dog, what if they find out how to teleport? Oh, shit.
Well, a lot of people think that if aliens came here, they've had to have faster than light speed travel, so they should have technology to be able to do
a lot of
things that we can only dream of. Who knows?
Yeah.
They might be folding space, warping, or going through dimensional space, and that way it's like a very short distance. And Einstein predicted something like 11 or 17 dimensions. And
Damn.
so it's not just our 3 dimensions that we see and feel, right? Like there are a whole bunch more. So there might be a dimension where, billions of light years you only might have to move a tiny little bit to get that far, and then pop into the other dimension, and then you're just there. So in a short sense, it's teleportation, right?
Right. That would be dope too.
There was an old cartoon. It was like X-Men. I forget what it was called. But the dude Forge figured out how Nightcrawler teleported, and that's how he did it. He went into another dimension, and every little bit of space that he moved in that other dimension was a lot of space in our dimension. So that's how he teleported. He would just quickly go there. But even Nightcrawler didn't know he was going into a different dimension, and Forge figured out he could keep him there in that different dimension, and then like these it was like some kind of weird. There were like these like lava dimension, and there was like these lava beasts and shit that came jumping through when he kept the hole open, the teleporting, because
lava people would come to the real world.
Well, they were like dogs, kind of like
really,
like lava dogs or some shit, like these lava creatures. And like when Forge kept the portal open from him jumping, because Forge wanted to give everyone teleportation devices, and he did. gave all the X-Men teleportation devices, you know, by figuring out Nightcrawler's ability.
Now, who is Forge and what is his ability?
Forge is one of my favorite superheroes of all time because he really has no upper limit. Forge's ability is that he can make anything, any kind of technology, and he a lot of times has to take his own thing apart to figure out how he did it because it's his ability that lets him, like, say he wants to teleport, he can figure he'll make a device that will do it. Sometimes he doesn't even know how he does it because it's his ability that lets him figure this shit out. Sort of like a Nikola Tesla type character.
So he's better than Iron Man.
Oh my God, yes.
Well, Iron Man's super smart too, and he makes his own technology and stuff like that.
Yeah. But Forge can figure out things that there's no way that Iron Man can figure out because Forge's ability is that he can figure out how to make a device to do anything that he wants. Anything.
So as soon as he thinks it, he can do it, or make a device to do it.
Right. It might take him a while to make the device, and later on he can make them really fast because he gives himself a cybernetic arm, and this cybernetic arm like can matter manipulate. It just like opens up and goes boom, and just like constructs different shit.
Really?
In there, yeah. Forge is awesome. He's a member of the X-Men. One of my favorite.
I wonder what he looks like. I'm about to look him up.
I think he's Native American. He looks Indian and shit.
Really?
Yeah. He's cool dude. One of my favorites. I like people that can evolve. You know, like Iron Man, he can evolve, you know?
Iron Man can evolve. Oh, yeah, because he can make different suits and shit and all that.
Yeah. Eventually, he gets a suit that's stored inside of his bones, the Extremis suit. And,
is that like his prime time? Like
his like alpha form?
Alpha form, yeah.
Sort of, because he can rewrite his own DNA then. And then so he can make whatever abilities he wants. He'll rewrite his DNA to be like Nightcrawlers or Rogues or Magnetos. He can actually give himself whatever abilities he wants because he can rewrite his DNA at will.
Damn, that's dope.
Yeah, in a way, it is his alpha form. He becomes a shit, you know? Most good characters, in my opinion, have the ability to where over time they're going to be like gods. You know, they'll be able to do anything. You know, to me, that's the difference between a good character and a not so good character. It's like not so good character has their abilities never evolve. They just like they can do something cool, but there's nowhere for it to go. You know, like Gambit.
Right.
You know, like it's a really cool ability, but where's it going to go? Where are you going to go with that?
Right. Is it this Dirty Sanchez dude?
Yep. I think that's him.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I thought he would look cooler.
Really? This is how I know him as right here. Look like that.
Where?
Like this one where he's standing in like a jail, like taking pictures of 6 with the foot things over here.
To the right or left?
To the left. It's on the left. It's the third picture up from the bottom here.
Third picture up.
Yeah, right here. That one. Yeah, this is how I think of Forge. Right down from there. The one where
right here.
Yeah, that one.
Okay.
That's how I think of Forge. He has like long hair, but he has like a cybernetic arm and shit.
It's like a Dirty Sanchez Filipino or something.
Yeah, he kind of looks like that Machete dude or something.
Yeah, Machete. I was gonna say that too. Yeah, I thought that was be a bad joke though, so I just shut up.
Yep.
But shit, yeah, it would be so dope to be in those fucking universes, man. Wouldn't it be so cool if we could just enter that shit?
Yeah.
Only people like us think about that though.
Yeah. You know who Rocket Raccoon is off of Guardians of the Galaxy?
Yeah.
There's a storyline where, you know how in, I think it was the Avengers, the first one, and that portal opens up above the Avenger Tower, and those what were they? I forget what race they were, but they started invading, and after that, Iron Man kind of was like, oh my God, the biggest threats are coming from space. So he went out into our galaxy, you know, and started exploring our Milky Way galaxy. And the first people he ran into was the Guardians of the Galaxy, and he went inside of their ship. And as soon as he got in there and took off his suit, you know how Rocket, he's like super genius, that raccoon. Mm-hmm. And he started taking apart and modifying Iron Man's suit, and Iron Man's like, what the fuck are you doing, you know? And Rocket upgraded it like 1,000% within like a minute of meeting Iron Man. So
for real?
Rocket Raccoon is like he's way more advanced than Iron Man is by far.
Damn, I didn't know that.
Yeah,
like I didn't really know Rocket's ability.
Yeah, he upgraded. Well, in the movie they show it too. In there, he like starts taking apart what's the main guy's name? Star-Lord, he starts taking apart Star-Lord's ship and making bombs and doing all this shit in there in the movie, you know. And like he puts together like this badass gun to hit up I forget what that dude's name is.
I've only seen it once, so I'm really
bad guy in
bad.
that movie. Yeah, but yeah, Rocket is super advanced.
They're coming out with a second one, aren't they?
Yeah.
You excited about that?
Fuck yeah, I love that movie. The first Guardians, shit, man.
They got a lot of good sales on it.
Batista, and yeah, that one was big. And what I really like, you know, is like I think that one was PG-13, and ever since Deadpool was like one of the first Marvel movies that was rated R, and it went huge, and it was one of the biggest Marvel movies of all time. Which I'm glad, because I think there should be more mature audience. Like, don't cater it to kids.
Right.
You know, like
they could do a lot more if they make it rated R.
Yeah, and kids are going to watch it anyway. I mean, kids can stand a little bit of blood or a little bit of violence or a little bit of boobs or whatever the hell it is. I think it should be more mature. I mean, fuck.
It's not like they're watching it like not by themselves or something. Like I hate that curse word type thing. Like everyone thinks that we shouldn't say curse words or something like that to like maybe 12-year-olds or whatever this on. But like really, everyone, they're using it either way. Like who gives a fuck?
Kids are cussing it when they're little kids at school. I mean, it's just like with my son. I don't, you know, I tell him when you're around other people, you know, be polite and don't cuss and this sort of thing. But when you're around us, I don't care if he cusses all he wants. I mean, it's just language, and I don't think that any word should be.
It's just a different form, right? It's just
taboo. Yeah, like who's to say that word is taboo? Like, who is so sensitive that when they hear a cuss word, they're like, "Oh, where's my fainting couch? Give me some smelling salts." What the fuck, man? It's ridiculous. Oh, I've got the vapors. Get the fuck out of here.
Vapors.
You know what I mean? It's like, dog, you can't stand a fucking cuss word, you know?
Right, tomato.
That's some bitch ass shit, you know? I mean, my goal is to cuss as much as I can till I die. You know? Not really, but I'm just trying to make a point of it's not a big deal, and I don't think people should make that big deal out of it, you know?
Right.
It's not that big of a fucking deal. It just isn't.
That's truth. Have you ever seen a preacher going into a lion's den trying to make the lion turn to Christianity?
What?
Yeah, dog. I have it in my playlist if you want to see that shit. This dude turns to make
that shit.
A lion. He takes his Bible with him and everything.
What?
Yes, that shit was funny. I saw it on Joe Rogan. I was like, I have to show you.
Retard alert! Here it comes. This is gonna be fucking awesome. What? Oh my gosh, dude. Here goes. This is gonna be great. Oh.
Taipei, Taiwan, November 3rd, 2004. At the Taipei Zoo, a man risks his life to deliver a disturbing sermon, and a visitor's camera captures a dangerous confrontation with the king of the jungle. Warning, don't try this at home. 46-year-old man, identified only as Chen, shocks visitors at the zoo by leaping into the lion's den, Bible in hand. He preaches to two ferocious.
Settle down, Chen. You're about to get fucked. What an idiot. Dude, are you serious?
This should be a main thing that Jesus is not going to save him. Why wouldn't Jesus save him? He's just preaching.
Right? Yeah, I mean, you know, why not? Why wouldn't he save him?
The lions appear stunned by the intruder. Then,
He's like, what the fuck is this Asian dude doing?
Oh shit! He's like, get the fuck out of here, bitch! Oh shit!
The lion backs away, showing his teeth. Look closer at the big cat's facial expression.
Dude!
His open mouth allows nose and tongue-based scent organs to capture odor particles, maximizing the lion's ability to identify strange smells. Right now, the strange smell is an unwelcome intruder.
You'd think he'd get the fuck out of there already, right?
God will save me.
A male human or another cat can trigger, an animal to be aggressive.
Captive lions are well.
Hey, when he stepped back, he's like, "Oh shit, the devil!"
Man, that lion will drag his ass off into the tall grass, never to be seen again and shit.
For real, he's like, "Oh shit, Satan, no!" He throws holy water and shit at him.
The lion don't even look like he liked the taste of him.
Hell no. Open his mouth and shit.
I don't know what this dude's been eating, but he's nasty.
For real.
Lions go for the throat, the back of the neck for a kill. That's where they try to make their first bite when they're bringing down prey.
If Chen can stay calm, posing no threat, it's his only chance of survival. But a sudden movement forward sparks the lion's vicious instincts. It bites into Chen's leg. Zookeepers
Oh my-
Oh shit.
Force escalates. They fire tranquilizer darts and use a water hose. The lions retreat, unharmed but sedated.
Man,
Yeah,
that
dog.
idiot,
Dumb
what a
fuck.
retard. And the lion got punished for that dude being a retard.
Right. It shouldn't be the lion's fault. That dumb motherfucker tried to preach God and shit.
Yeah.
Come
Have
to
you
find
heard?
out Satan was in his soul.
Have you heard about the new things they discovered with like chimpanzees?
No.
There's been a few recent discoveries. Well, they've recently recorded them using tools, which is a big deal, right? Like we knew that some birds and other primates used tools like to get like ants out of an anthill or termites or some shit. They'd put a piece of grass in there and pull them up. And they were
Actually, I did hear something. I heard like a chimpanzee using a spear to catch fish.
exactly.
I think you told me that.
Using tools to hunt. And also, they think they've recorded for the first time chimpanzees developing religion. Because, yeah, there was a whole bunch of chimpanzees, and for no reason whatsoever, they would get a rock and take it to this fucking tree and sit it around the tree, and then they would all, like, sit around the tree fucking...
What?
Yeah, but it's like they were, like, developing religion for the first time. And also, just recently, when my girl came home today, she told me, she's like, they recorded or observed chimpanzees killing their leader who was a tyrant. And so there was like the leader of this pack of chimpanzees, and he was like being a dick, and so they all ganged up on him and killed him and ate him.
What?
Yeah, so they're developing like hierarchies and religion and tool usage, and it's pretty weird. And it's really odd because if you look way back in history, in some of the ancient Indian like texts, they have these like little monkey people with tails, and they're right around where they had the blue people that were gods and all this sort of thing. But they were like little monkey people, and they were like sentient and intelligent. And they were supposedly wars fought with this race of these monkey people with tails. And
Really?
It's really, really weird. It's recorded in their religious history. Yeah.
I tried to find a video of what you were saying, and I think I did find it. They're bringing this like little box thing to a tree, and he's trying to move it up. Is that? I think that's what it is. I looked up chimps worship their supreme being, the origin of religion. That's what it said. All right, I'll add it to my podcast.
All right.
All right, there, I got it. Because that's fucking crazy. What the fuck?
All right, let me put it up here. Yeah, shit's changing in our world, man. And it might just be another phase, because if you believe what they have in their religious texts, they've actually already had in the past species that were like that, so it's like past repeating itself almost. Who knows?
You'll see it like in 43 seconds in, or 40.
Okay. All right, let's check it out.
He's like bringing this thing over there.
This absurd.
Obviously, I didn't see the whole video.
I think I know that dude.
Supreme being by kneeling in front of him, which is a universal animal and human sign of submission, just as we do to our supreme being. The dominant male's loyal followers look to him for protection, their anxieties relieved, knowing he's
looking in that asshole.
The founding said for us, so is it true for chimps. When God's in his heaven, all is right with the world. Our own 23rd Psalm describes it perfectly. The dominant male is my shepherd, I shall not want. Yea, though the jungle is full of threats, I will fear no evil.
What if a preacher uses this in a sermon and be like, see, God is real. Chimps are coming to this culture now, believing in Christ.
Yeah, but they're not the same species as us. So like, would that
Right, I know, but what I'm saying, what I'm saying is, what if a preacher was dumb enough to use this in his sermon or something like that to convince people that God is more real than what he is, and now chimps are realizing that God is real. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, but what's funny about that is that they don't usually believe in evolution, and that it's sort of like on the edge of saying that they're evolving, right? So
True.
it'd be a very weird position for a religious person to take, any of the Abrahamic religions at least.
True.
Yeah, how weird.
Figure is really the precursor of our human religions. And watch what happens when a thunderstorm breaks out. The subservient chimps cower, but their leader responds
oh,
to
shit.
the threatening sounds of thunder and lightning by giving his own threat display back. Racing around, banging tree limbs, throwing rocks. You can't intimidate me, he says. I'm in charge here. Take that.
They're so
Troops
strong.
are our earliest human
Yeah, they're strong as fuck.
But Zeus and
I would love to have like
thunder and lightning. One small step from our chimps gods to our human gods, but a giant step in understanding the true nature of our compelling need to put our faith and trust in an all-powerful leader. When a charismatic leader says...
So is that kind of what you're talking about then?
Yeah, it kind of looks like what I was talking about, yeah.
That's fucking crazy, dog.
Yeah, their behaviors are getting more and more complex at all times. It's really curious, man.
What if we do have like a Planet of the Apes type thing?
Yeah,
One day, like in 10,000 years from now.
That'd be pretty interesting. I doubt they're going to overtake us, though. I mean,
Right.
we could wipe them out in a heartbeat if we wanted.
True. Especially probably by then we'll have better technology than what they'll have. I mean, they're always going to be like fucking 500 steps behind us.
Truth. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, we've had, hundreds of thousands or millions of years past this point here,
Right.
They think that we are from a cousin primate evolved because if you notice, chimpanzees don't have tails and human beings don't have tails. That's the reason that chimpanzees are, we share 97% of our DNA with chimpanzees.
I heard of that.
And, Joe Rogan had a really funny way to put that. He goes, a lot of people don't believe in evolution, and yet we share 97% of our DNA with a chimpanzee. And he says, if somebody gave you a ham sandwich, but there was 97% shit in there, would you still consider that a ham sandwich?
Hell no.
Hell no. So we're 97% the same DNA and genes as a chimpanzee. How do they not consider that a cousin or a primate? Like we are the same as that.
Right.
Like they're still thinking we're the 3%, right? Well, no, you're not. You're the 97%. We share a really big part of our DNA with a fucking carrot. I don't know if you know about that. Plants also have genes and shit, and we share. I mean, because everything, plants and animals at one time were the same thing. Somewhere along the evolutionary lines, really early on, plants, like algae or whatever is like a plant, but it feeds off of shit in the water, you know what I mean, and stuff like that. And plants, so at one point in evolution, there had to be where, one of the plants had more and more complex behaviors. I mean, they know that right now trees can communicate with each other. And, I heard this thing about grass, just regular grass that we have out in front of our lawn. Mm-hmm. And they said that when you cut grass, that cut grass smell that everyone smells, mm-hmm. that's actually a defense mechanism that the grass gives off to say to all the plants around it that they're being butchered.
Really?
Yeah. It's not just a smell of the plant being cut. It's actually a defense mechanism. And all the other
releases that scent?
And all the other plants around will be like a defensive posture or whatever.
Really?
Yeah. The more that we figure out about our natural world, the more complex it gets. And we're, they think that plants are a whole lot more aware than we've given them credit for. So, that ought to put a cramp in the style of vegans who think that they're like going through this world not doing any harm. Well, even if you eat vegetables, you're killing life forms. There's no way around it.
Right. It's gonna be like The Happening or something like that. Have you ever seen that movie?
Yeah, the Mark Wahlberg movie.
Yeah, that was I think the second time. I've never seen it like I've only seen it once before, like around the same time it came out, and I haven't seen it in like a long time. And then I seen it the other day, and I was like, oh shit, I don't remember it being like this.
Yeah, it's kind of weird. M. Night Shyamalan movie or whatever.
Yeah,
I think his best ones are Signs. I think that's his #1 best one.
Signs.
Yeah, have you ever seen Signs?
I've never heard of Signs. Mm-hmm.
Oh, dude, you got to see it. It has some of the most creepy moments of any movie ever.
Really?
You've got to see that movie, Signs. It has Mel Gibson in it. It's fucking shit, dude.
Have I ever talked to you about The Exorcism? Have I talked to you about that before?
You asked me if I believed in it.
But did I ask you if like it was scary or something? Or wait, yeah, I did, because you said it wasn't scary because you don't believe in it, so it's not scary to you. It's only scary. Right. Okay.
I'd slap shit out that bitch. Bitch, wake up. You know what I mean?
Bitch, wake up.
Anyone try that? You know what I mean?
Right.
Anyone try it? Because I bet that bitch start acting right, slap her in her shit. I'm not advocating for violence, but hey, that bitch is spitting and throwing up on you and attacking you. I heard. I think that's what she does. So it's like, defend yourself, smack shit out that bitch, see if she comes to. But half of those people I think are faking, and the other half I think are crazy. That's what I think's going on.
Right. Fuck it.
Chemical imbalance. I think what's happening is they did a study on mice and rats, and they found out that if you overcrowd them in a cage, a certain percent of them go crazy, and they'll start like chasing their tails until they die, or the other one will just sit with his face in the corner until they die. And when they get overcrowded, a certain percentage, a gene will trigger to where they just go fucking crazy to be able to control the population. It's sort of like that thing I told you about, not wolves, but wolves too, but coyotes. If they have a low population, a gene triggers, and the female coyote will give larger birth numbers. And if there's an overpopulation, a gene will trigger to where she'll give lower birth numbers in her litter. So, yeah. And so humans are probably the same way. And right now we're getting kind of overcrowded. And who knows? A gene could trigger. And that's the reason we have like these people going crazy and blowing themselves up, or, all sorts of crazy ass people in this world. Who knows? I mean, but it seems, we're finding out information that could, that makes that seem like legit as fuck, So I don't know, man. It's just interesting.
Sorry, I hate doing this. I gotta take a shit.
All right.
It's playing peekaboo. I try to hold my cheeks. Can you play a video? Can you play a video real quick? I'll try to be as fast as I can.
You're prairie dogging?
Yeah, for real. All right, be right back.
All right, good. Because I got a video to show too. All right, this is a very interesting video of this channel that I like. You guys could check it out. It's called Beyond Science, and there's this weird phenomenon that's been happening in China, and I think this is the 3rd or 4th time this has happened. And I'll let you guys see it, and anyone out there, you can tell me what your thoughts are on this and tell me what you think it is. Check it out.
Yeah. Do you guys remember about 2 years ago, a city was spotted floating over Foshan in Guangdong province, China.
Guangdong.
And then, according to CCTV News, another city was spotted floating in China in March of last year. And now yet another floating city appeared, again in China. This one was captured on video, floating in the clouds over the city of Yueyang. Locals and tourists.
All right. What is this? I just needed a fart.
It was all there.
I hate that shit. All right.
It was all there. It's all good. Yeah, there's this weird, mysterious phenomenon that's happened in China, and I think this is like the 3rd or 4th time it's happened. Here, go ahead and check it out. I just started the video.
Okay.
Amazed at the floating skyscrapers talking to each other hurriedly about what they see in the sky. The video is now viral across many social media platforms, and there have been many suggestions as to what the floating city really is. While others say that NASA had initiated Project Bluebeam, a plan for a new world order. Others, however, explained that the video was ridiculous and that it was all a mirage. And the theory that most people are getting behind is the fact that the smog in China has finally cleared and its citizens are seeing the skyscrapers appears in the city for the first time. Because according to meteorologist experts, the buildings in the video are real and surrounded by radiation fog that will eventually evaporate when the temperature rises. You know, this topic is so interesting because I remember when I was young, my family took me to Yantai, which is a place in Shandong province, China, and that place was really famous for mysterious looking cities that would appear on the ocean. So if you ever go there and you're lucky enough, you could look out onto the ocean and see what looks like a modern city. Videos have created phenomenon, and it has been reported on by the state media network in China. What's really interesting is that the buildings that show up on the ocean don't match up with any city in the world, and the footages captured actually show people walking around inside the buildings themselves.
Holy
Experts
shit.
say it was just a mirage, but they even admitted that they really had no idea what's causing it. So,
Yeah, so I'm not going to play the whole thing, but yeah.
So they actually shows people actually walking and shit in
Yeah.
this mysterious city.
Yeah, when I first heard about this after the second, there was one and then there was another one a few years later, and that's when I found out that this was even a thing. And a lot of people said it was like this phenomenon that's caused by the light refracting off of the different densities of air in the atmosphere. But I thought, well, hell, there's an easy way to find out. All you have to do is match out the skyline of the city in the sky with an actual skyline, and then the mystery will be solved. But the problem is that it doesn't match any city. So what the fuck is going on? Because it's like, you know, you can see the fucking buildings and the shape of them and everything. You know, there are people that own those fucking buildings. And so you should be able to match up. If it was just a reflection of an actual skyline, you should be able to match those buildings up with actual buildings. But
Right.
the thing is that they can't.
Wow.
So
What if it's just
almost
like one of those things, like, you know how ghosts, you always think put powder on them so you can see the outline of it. What if that's the alien cities, dog? That fog, you could just see that shit.
Well, I've had this hypothesis, and I thought, I'm sure you've heard me say this before, but I always thought like maybe ghosts are, because Einstein predicted, I think it was 11 or 17 other dimensions, and I always thought that maybe ghosts are beings from another dimension that we're starting to slowly be able to, or every once in a while we can kind of, we vibrate at a certain frequency, and the Earth does too, and that's how Nikola Tesla could send his electricity through the Earth, and he made an earthquake machine and all this, because we figured out the resonance frequency of us and the Earth. So, what if these other dimensions are resonating at a different frequency, and every once in a while we can fucking see it, you know what I mean? It's crossing over a little bit. And we're picking up on a shadow person or whatever, and he doesn't notice us, and we barely notice him. And maybe the cities is the same thing, maybe this other dimension is like poking through a little bit.
I was gonna say that maybe another dimension or something like that.
Yeah, it's very odd, isn't it?
Yeah, that's crazy.
It's fucking crazy. And it's as plain as day. Millions of people have seen it. It's not fake. I love mysteries like this, but I can't wait until we get to the bottom of whatever the fuck it is, because this shit just fills my head with wonder, like what the
Right. Especially if you can't like line it up. It's just randomly fucking there. Like what?
Yeah.
That's fucking crazy.
What the hell is going on, man?
I would love to see that in real life.
Oh my God, me too. And ghosts and stuff like that interest me too. Like, I don't really believe in ghosts in my line of thinking, but I believe, I have some buddies and they've said they've seen some ghosts and shit, and I have no reason to doubt them. They've never lied to me about anything else, as far as I know. So it's like, even though I didn't experience it, I can take their word for it. Like, I've seen UFOs 3 times, and I've had like 2 times where I had some sort of weird like psychic phenomenon happening, and I consider myself sort of skeptical, and I always, but yet I'm mystified by mysteries or whatever. But
this world is crazy.
There's a lot of things in this world that are just weird. If you'd have taken our phone back, who is the if you take our cell phone back 1,000 years, they might look at you like you're doing magic. You know what I mean? Like, he had all the books in the world in the palm of his hand. That's magic, or. There's the dude, and he wrote a whole bunch of books. Asimov, I think is his name, Isaac Asimov, Russian dude, and he said, I forget the exact words that he used in his quote. I think I actually have it written down here. And it's something like, if you take any here, hold on, and I'll find it. Give me a second here. Okay, here. Oh, it's Arthur C. Clarke. I'm sorry, not Isaac Asimov. And the quote goes, "Any sufficiently advanced technology is indistinguishable from divinity." So basically, what he's saying is that, you know, if you have a sufficiently advanced technology, people who don't know and understand that technology couldn't distinguish that between magic or divinity. You know, them being a god or them being and that's why a lot of people think that, you know, the angels and the gods in all the historical religions all around the world were misinterpreting advanced technology.
Just like maybe the Incas saw, I don't know if it was the Incas, but the Native Americans, when they saw Columbus or whatever, they thought he was a god because of the technology that he had and shit.
Yeah. And he was white.
Yeah.
You know, they're like, what the fuck? You know?
Right.
White man over here. And yeah, that goes, you know, that as far back as we can trace, there's that phenomenon over and over again where, you know, every time somebody comes along with an advanced technology, people, you know, they assign it to divinity. There's an actual phenomenon of this. I can't remember what the name of it is right now, but there was this island where, oh, they're called cargo cults. I remember now. Let me show you.
Cargo cults.
Yeah.
C-U-L-T? Cults?
Yeah, I'll here. I think this thing explains it. Let me put it up here and so what's going on here is I think they'll explain it. So I'm just gonna let this dude explain it here.
During World War II, American troops created air bases on remote Pacific islands. To natives who had never witnessed advanced technology, the sight of giant metal birds touching down looked to them as if the gods themselves had turned the Earth into a planetary pit stop.
They would see these big planes land, and it was all technology that just was out of the sky. They didn't know how these things worked, but they could see them land. And what they liked about it was they were getting free stuff. They were getting cargo. Suddenly, when the war was over, all these airstrips were abandoned and everyone left. And the islanders scratched their heads and they all said to themselves, wow, wasn't it great when all these planes came out of the sky and gave us free cans of corned beef and stuff? We really like that cargo. Entire religions sprung up from this, where priests actually said, yes, you know, that was our dead ancestors sending us cargo. So what they did was they began going to the old airstrips and they would build mock wooden airplanes to try and get those planes to come back from the sky and deliver the cans of corned beef to them again. And so you can see how the analogy with modern cargo cults plays exactly into the ancient astronaut scenario.
Yeah, so
wow,
yeah,
that's crazy.
Yeah, there's a phenomenon of that, you know, where, you know, people who see advanced technology that they don't understand, they attribute it to gods, and that's how you spark religion. You know, that's what they think our religion is. You know, they saw aliens and they called them gods and angels. And I mean, you know, if that isn't true, then explain to me why it's exactly the same. Right? Like if that cargo cult phenomenon isn't the same in Christianity and Islam and all that, explain to me why it's exactly the same.
True.
You know,
I mean, something you can't explain, especially in that great of extent. You might as well just say he's a god or something. Especially they had like no technology. What it looked like, absolutely none.
Not even
phone. I would be fucking freaking out too. You know,
yeah.
Just probably has a different way of thinking. Also, they don't probably have a lot of common sense because they don't deal with a lot of things that we do.
They don't have school, right? They don't learn. They don't have access to the internet and get to learn every day like we do, you know. I mean,
I'll be doing backflips and shit and praying and shit, all that.
Yeah, sacrificing people to it, you know, and who knows, you know. I mean, when you look historically through the religions, there have been some really bad ones, you know. They've made themselves go extinct because they slaughtered everyone, you know, like the Incas or whatever, you know, or what were the name? I think it was. You ever see that movie? Mel Gibson movie. He's not in it. He directed it though.
This the Indians and stuff, and they just chop off their heads
Cut off-
over and over. Yeah.
Yeah, well, there are records of those people doing that, like killing like 50,000 people just in a couple days.
They almost killed their whole like. The
Well,
whole
they
society
did.
and shit.
They did.
Well, they did.
Yeah, those people are completely extinct. They killed themselves through their religion. I mean, you look at Islam; it's practically the same fucking thing. It's a death cult. You know.
Kind of want to see that movie again. That was a really good movie.
Oh, that movie's dope, dude. I've watched it a whole bunch of times, man.
Is it? Let me make sure it's the same one. It's one time they're playing a game and they're trying to escape, and he has arrows or something like that, and they try to kill him or spears. Am I right? Is that the same
There
one?
was like the fatter dude, and he got speared through, and then the little skinnier dude, he gets away, and then he gets this like jaguar to attack.
Yeah, that was a dope ass fucking movie. Man.
Throws a beehive at him, and that's a dope ass movie, man. And that's based on a true story too. I mean, that shit fucking happened in real life. Pretty crazy, man. But you know, there's modern death cults. I mean, look at Islam, and they have honor killing, and they stone each other. They stone their own mothers and daughters and make them wear bags. Like when we think about a death cult, we literally think about people in black robes walking around, and that is exactly what Islam is. So, you know, and they slaughter each other all the fucking time. How is that not the same fucking thing?
You happy that we got that ban signed?
Well, it's not a Muslim ban like they say. And actually,
I know.
the countries that he put embargo on or whatever was picked by Obama. A lot of people, they just love to blame him for everything. And like, you know, I don't really give a shit about Trump, but you know, they forced my hand to like, just to bust out the truth. And the truth is that Obama did that too. And it's not a Muslim ban. It's because like that, it's only the top countries where terrorists are coming from that he banned. He didn't ban all Muslims or anything like they're trying to make it out to be. But
Right.
yeah, I am happy. Yeah, we should ban terrorists or
Refugees.
countries
More
that
of a
we
good
think
word,
are
yeah.
terrorists, and we shouldn't allow any illegals, and we shouldn't take these fucking refugees. Look, there's been war throughout all of history, and people die, and it's really sad when you know, half this world is in an apocalyptic state. We're lucky that we're not in one. But if we try to take everyone from those apocalyptic places, our place is going to be an apocalypse too. So fuck them. I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck, man. Look, when we're at war with somebody and they keep picking fights with us, when we're at war with somebody, I say fuck them. They don't give a shit about our civilians.
I mean, I think
Why
we have
should
enough
we-
population anyways.
We're already overpopulated, dog. We are already overpopulated. There are already, there's like 8% of the population don't have jobs, and that is in the tens of millions of people.
I was listening to Joe Rogan last night, and he was saying about when he was 13, there's 100 million more from now than when he was 13. 100 million people. That's fucking crazy.
Yeah. My dad would always tell me, I actually looked that up because my dad would always tell me it's the best country and it has so much opportunity. Yeah, but all the old people kind of lock themselves into the job. You look at like Senate and they've been there for like 30 or 50 years and shit, the old ass men, you know, and it's like, but in those times there was like 150 to 200 million people, and now there's 320 million people. So it's like, and then, you know, so in a way we don't have the opportunity that they had, you know, because it's been, there's so many more people, you know.
Right. A lot of that opportunity cuts down, especially with the more people. You go with people that have money and shit, and that also decreases for poor people. And then, like you said, people that have those lockdown jobs, I mean, they're not going to give it to people that they don't know. They're going to give it to family.
Right.
Like the Bushes.
That's why we have Bushes that are presidents, Clintons that are be presidents.
Right, and those families that are in control and shit. Yeah.
Yeah. You know, think about like old, really rich families like the Rockefellers and shit, some of the richest families on the planet, and they are pulling the strings behind the scenes, no doubt. And they find ways to stay in power and to keep their jobs and, you know, to absorb all the money out of the economy. And, you know, back in the day, most countries on this world, if you want to immigrate to most countries, you have to have like 10 grand in the bank per person, and you have to be a professional and have gone to college and have a degree, and they don't have exceptions, you know. But now there's like this big refugee thing where people are taking these uneducated, never been to school a day in their life, refugees and shit. I have a perfect video to show you. this Mexican dude talking about these refugees in his country. It's total perfect segue for what we're talking about right here. Check it out. See, these aren't refugees that are wanting to be hard workers or want opportunity. These motherfuckers are economic migrants. They're not war refugees. They're economic migrants. Check this out.
Hello again. So this is a brief editorial piece that generously calling out that basically my opinion of what has been happening here in Baja California with the migrants, the African migrants, over the past few months. Now it looks like basically what happened a while back is Enrique Peña Nieto, the president of Mexico, I don't want to say conspired. He made an agreement with Obama to bring in a bunch of blacks from several black nations like Haiti, the Congo, South Africa, Liberia, places like that. Now these blacks came to Mexico and were going to sneak into the United States. They didn't go directly to the United States because it would have caused a scandal. Now this is all known. These are all facts. This is not something that I am making up. From this point onward, I'm going to tell you what happened in Mexico, and this is not known. These are not. This is not something that was reported in the U.S. and it was only barely reported in Mexico. So they were passing blacks from Mexico to the United States at a rate of about 50 to 100 per day. Jeez. But at some point they stopped doing that, and most of the blacks, over 10,000, were forced to stay in Mexico. Mexico was giving shelter, food, and clothing and money to these blacks to give them as much commodities as possible. Now, this is incredibly offensive to anyone that lives in Mexico. Now, I was born in Mexico. I was raised and will die in Mexico. This is really bad because in Mexico we have people starving, people on the street, people who have serious needs, who are wounded, who are mentally ill, who have issues. Basically, Mexico is not a first world country. We don't have the economy or the
that's sad. I don't understand that. Like, why help somebody else when your own fucking people are dying?
Right. And our own people need jobs. So, the idea, I don't know if you've ever seen that South Park episode, but they summed it up really well. If there's a country that's in a state of apocalypse and it's real shitty there, if you let them all come here, it's just going to be shitty here. You can't help them like that, right? That's not how you help people, right? You don't help them by giving them all your shit. That's not the way it works.
Right, they're just going to ruin that shit.
Yeah, they're just going to ruin it here, and then it's going to be a shitty state of affairs here. But check it out. Listen to what he says.
Blacks who refuse to work. And therein lies the problem. Recently, the blacks, a while back, got jobs. Well, a lot of them got jobs, not most of them, but a lot of them did. Except they quit their jobs after a while, ostensibly because they didn't pay enough. You see, in Mexico, people make very, very little money. I make more than 90% of the money that most of the average Mexican can. And even I can barely scrape through, and I make less than the minimum wage in the United States. So, yeah, things are really rough here. So, when you argue that these blacks, who are the majority, young, very strong, very healthy men, refuse to work, I can't help but see them as anything but parasites, because the people that they are taking food, money, and shelter from are people who are none of those things. Now, I don't think these people should be killed. I don't think these people should be drowned or anything violent. I just want them to go back to their home. I just want them to go back to Africa, because Mexico cannot sustain people the way that a first world nation like Great Britain, the United States, Germany, or any of the...
If we said that, we're racist.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing.
But it's the truth, right? Like, the way to solve their problem is not to let them all come here, and then it's just we're gonna be in the same boat. Like, it's sad that these countries are in a state of apocalypse, but you know what? If our country was in a state of apocalypse, they ain't gonna fucking help us. We've been helping every other country on this planet for so fucking long. I don't see why we're doing that. Fuck them. I mean, if they don't want to join the civilized world, and look, even when you try to bring them in and shit, all they do is complain. I have other videos about them being in America or in other countries where they're complaining. I have one that when they're in like Holland, I'd love to live there, and they're complaining that the free food that they're getting is the same all the time, and they're this.
At least you're getting free food, bitch.
Yeah, and the free places they get to live is, they don't like it. It's not adequate enough, and it's like, dog, I thought that you guys were coming from a fucking war zone. You'd think food at all would be great, right?
Right.
You know, so I really can't wrap my brain around. So this whole idea of refugees and bullshit, it's bullshit, dude. I think they should all go back. You know, I'm a civic, I kind of a civic nationalist, and it means that I believe in protecting our borders, but I also believe that everyone here should be have equal rights and all that. You know, no matter what color, race, creed, doesn't matter. But I don't believe that we should be taking in a bunch of people from other fucking countries, and apparently neither does any other goddamn country. Right. Every country that takes these people in, they get crazy rape statistics and all that. And I have a bunch of videos I can show on that if we ever get to it. But you know, it's just not a good situation, man. The way to help them is to not bring them into your country and make your country shitty.
That's true.
And you can see that they're lazy. They don't want to work. Like, if you're oppressed and you're starving or whatever they claim when they come to these countries, then you'd think free food and shelter and a job would be great. Doesn't matter how little money you make. You know, like, you'd think just the opportunity to make a living would be great. But I mean, when they're turning down those jobs, what the fuck does that tell you, right?
Right.
It tells you that they're bullshitting, dog. They're playing the fucking system, dog. They're playing like they're oppressed, and they're playing like they come from. They're not war refugees. They're economic migrants, and there's a big fucking difference.
That's true. It's like having a friend that's just fucking dirty, and he goes in his house, he leaves whatever, and he comes to yours and does the same thing. That's all he knows.
That's all he knows. They're uneducated, man. These motherfuckers never been to school a day in their life and shit. They're stupid. Fuck that. We don't need that kind of people, dog. These people are like, they're barbarians and shit, most of them. I mean, they are uncivilized. You know, everywhere they go, they rape and molest even children. I've showed this before, you know, and the dog, they act like monsters compared to us civilized folk. You know, we don't do that. We don't attack people, and we don't rape people. The people that do that, we call them psycho and sociopaths. But for them, that is their culture. That is normal.
Right.
What? We don't need that shit, dog. And I think that saying that we don't need that shit is not racist. It's fucking common. There should be common sense.
Truth. Well, shit.
I think we're about at that time. If you want to shut it down, though.
Let me see.
On that note,
we started streaming 2 hours ago.
End on a little racism, or at least that's what a lot of people will think. But hey, I'm a
go back home, nigga.
I'm a white. I'm allowed to say it.
Shit,
all right, so let's drop it. Till next time. Thank you for watching. If you like it, subscribe and share. Leave a comment. We read every comment. We'd love to reply. Love to hear what you got to say on whatever. Till next time.
If you're hating, turn off the fucking channel. Peace.
Bag of dicks for haters. Peace.